Tonight, most people are relaxing after a night of costumes and candy, but Halloween brings back chilling memories for an Oscoda native. She was just 8 years old, coming home from trick-or-treating when she learned her big sister never made it home from school that day. 44 years ago tonight, Halloween and her life changed forever.
Someone in this town killed them.
That's what you feel?
No, that's what I know.
As the fall chill returns, so does a Halloween mystery that has haunted a small town for more than 4 decades. On October 31st, 1969, 2 girls left Oscoda High School early and vanished like ghosts. It's a Halloween night Mary Burley and her sister Betty Hobley will never forget.
When we got home trick-or-treating, my mom knew that Pam hadn't, something was wrong.
They were just 8 and 13 years old when their big sister went missing.
They walked out of that school, they skipped school, and that's the last time they've been seen.
15-year-old Pamela Hobley and her classmate 16-year-old Patricia Spencer walked down River Road that afternoon, and that's where the mystery begins.
You always wonder. You just still wonder.
That night they planned to go to the homecoming game, but they never made it.
There was a bomb threat at the high school around that time. Some say they may have left during the bomb threat when they evacuated the building. I get different stories from different people, but then I have to put them all together.
All these years later, the story keeps changing. In fact, just last summer, police got a tip that a man picked them up on his way to work and dropped them off here at the corner of 23 and River Street. Back then, this was a gas station. Now it's the last place the girls were ever seen.
He originally told the police in 1969 that he picked them up and gave them a ride to town. Now I told him, I said, that's not in the report. And he said, the police questioned me the day after I gave them the ride to town and wanted to know where the girls went.
A cold case that Oscoda Township Police Chief Mark David reopened after new tips made him take a second look.
It's close to home because I've grown up here and I've worked here for 30 years, so we'll get there.
Chief David remembers hearing rumors about the case as a teenager and is now looking into tips that he says were never investigated.
There was information that the girls may have been buried underneath a barn from a note that was left. There was nothing in the original report that said anything was ever done with that, so we went and dug up what was left of the barn out there.
Investigators have brought cadaver dogs out to search, and the chief has followed up on countless interviews, leads, and handwritten notes that were either forgotten, overlooked, or ignored.
If they would have done their job back then, they would have been home.
I'm just trying to follow up on everything that I don't think was followed up on in the original report.
Chief David believes the investigation got a slow start because original investigators thought the girls were runaways.
In '69, drugs and alcohol were the big thing back then.
She did a lot of things that my mom did not like.
But as time went on and when they didn't recontact the parents or didn't contact any of their friends, then something was wrong.
As days turned to weeks, Pam's mom wrote a letter to the community begging for someone to help find her daughter. As months turned to years, she hung on to hope.
She saved her gifts for years. Christmas gifts, she would buy Christmas gifts, just in case she came home.
An age-enhanced photo helps Pam's family see what the girl with piercing eyes and long dark hair might look like today. A possible image of the daughter and sister the family would never see again. Pam's mother wouldn't live to see what happened to her daughter.
I want to solve it for my mom, and to solve it for Pam too. She, let her know that we didn't give up.
She returns to Oscoda Township every few months to hang flyers as an eerie reminder that the 2 girls are still missing. Time may have passed, but the mystery of Pam and Patty's disappearance remains. And Mary still believes someone knows what happened that Halloween night.
I'll do this to the day that I die, till she's found.
Police are still following up on leads, including one about a man who lived in Flint at the time of the girl's disappearance. His name was Ron Collins, and apparently he was part of a band that performed in Oscoda. The chief hopes someone will see this tonight and remember him or anything about that night that could bring the families some answers in this case.